With the recent map pool update, Dust 2 made a comeback. Playing on Faceit over the past few days, I've managed to squeeze in a few games on this map. But to my surprise, most players seem to have forgotten the defaults on this map, let alone the sick nades. So in this video, I wanna at least refresh your memory on this map, and at most, blow your mind with some new nades and tricks. And before we kick off, make sure to sub to the channel, you hit pause right now and hit that subscribe button. Subscribed? Alright, I'll give you another 5 seconds to make sure you got it done. We're just a bit away from hitting that 1000 sub mark, and don't forget to drop a like under this video. So just in a bit, you will see a ton of sick nades. Right now, I wanna chat with y'all about defaults, cause too many pips be hitting up top mid with no nades, and they end up getting blasted by an AVP 100% of the time, mindlessly rushing B where they get bombarded with nades or sprinting from spawn straight to long with no utility. So let's start with mid control. Best move is when you got that AVP, jump to suicide and post up on the right, gathering intel. Why not the left, you ask? From my experience, standing there in city gives the enemy a better shot and taking you out. And if you ain't keen on risking it, you can ask your teammate to jump with you and sit left behind the box. Better sightlines for you, and it's way tougher for the enemy to nail you. Now when you ain't packing an AVP, you got two options. First, jump up for the intel, toss in that molotov I'll show you later. Second, post up in that corner, keeping a close eye on the mid push. Also gotta be cautious of those early timings by the box, cause your teammates ain't always gonna have your back or give you enemy intel. Now let's talk about B. Pretty much every round, you or someone from your crew gotta be playing tunnels if there ain't no specific plan for the round. It's all about gathering intel of the map. If you get word of a lower tunnel, push, which happens quite a bit. You can take out the enemy before they gather any intel on the map. If no one's pushing lower, gather intel on short and keep the enemy from getting aggressive. Another move is to make some noise at B, throw the enemy off their game from the other points on the map, and keep them from quickly rotating to mid or A. And the final position I haven't mentioned yet is long. It's like a banana on Inferno, always gotta fight for it, but only if you got that first spawn. Otherwise, you'll always come in second. And of course, gotta toss those flashes, both you and your teammates can handle that. Alright, let's now dive into the nades. The most crucial one you'll gotta know is the Xbox smoke. The quickest way to toss it is to approach this wall and aim at the bottom left corner of this square. Only downside is that little gap where cities can sneak through. So there is a second version of the smoke, a bit trickier though. Stand a tad to the right, aim at this spot and do a jump throw. That way, no gap. But you gotta practice this one on your own servers, cause personally it took me about 5 minutes to get it right consistently. If you still ain't feeling that gap, there are two more ways to smoke Xbox. First one, wedge yourself into these rails, aim your crosshair up from this thing towards the wires and jump throw. Second option, classic as it gets, stand in this corner, aim here and jump throw. They both land on Xbox reliably. But smoking Xbox doesn't mean cities can push mid, so you gotta utilize these flashes. The beauty of them is they won't blind your teammates, but will make it tough for enemies to look away. You can also toss the Xbox smoke from top mid on the go. Just toss it over this window. If you're struggling, here's a simple guide. Aim at this spot on the wall and toss it a couple of steps ahead. Plus side of the smoke, no gap. And the final set of smokes are for AVPers on mid, thrown from lower. There are two, both from the same spot. First one, left mouse click, aim a bit lower under this thing. It completely blocks off mid doors. Second smoke's old school, right mouse click a tad to the left on this slope. It fails differently, letting you hop onto Xbox and pick off enemies on mid. Main trick here is to pick from the left to right, gives you a good chance of catching cities picking mid. Moving on to the starting nades, obviously are the long smokes. They will make it way easier to hold long. There are 3 spots to throw them from. First smokes from the first support. Gotta find the spot and aim slightly to the right with a jump throw. Second smokes from the second support. Aim at the bottom of the spot, also with a jump throw. And the third ones from the third support. Aim up from the center of the box door, also with the bend. I personally prefer the third option, but you do you. When pushing long, gotta throw flashes. Sure, you can throw them on the go like this, but best bet is to wedge yourself against this wall and throw them from the palm. Pick any spot, flash will land where it needs to. Only thing if you're throwing 2 at once. First one's a simple jump throw, second one's a bit of thrown from the one step away. And the final must-know nade at the start of the round is the door Molotov. Sure, you can toss it from the suicide, but there's a big chance our enemy snipers will take you out, so learn to throw it from a bit behind the box right away. Now let me show you some nades from side B. From my experience, this side's where peeps know the least about nades, so we gotta fix that. Did you know you can lob nades straight from T spawn to B? Smoke for the door can be thrown from this car, jump onto the trunk, aim at the upper left corner of this square, and throw from 2 steps away. It's a 6 smoke for a fast round, but make sure to practice it on your own map before tossing it in game, or else it might get too convex. Second smoke's thrown from this box. Connect these 2 points and do a jump throw. It's a tad worse than the first one, cause it takes longer to throw and adds up convex regardless. You can also throw window smokes from spawn, specifically from trash. First one's thrown straight from the trash. Wedge yourself against this bag, aim slightly right of the middle of this protrusion, and throw with shift plus W plus jump throw. It lands perfectly in the window, but the second smoke, in my opinion, is much simpler. Stand left of this bag, aim at the sky above this protrusion, and throw with a walk plus jump throw. It also lands perfectly in the window. I bet many of you have seen that you can toss B smokes from one spot. Let me remind you of them. Stand in this corner, aim at these 2 upper points, this one and this one. First smokes for the window, second one's for the door. Super convenient and fast to use this combo. Door smokes not convex, so enemies can push through. And the last B smokes are thrown from the tunnel, but only for the door. These used to be smokes for the window too, but after they took away the skybox, they're gone. There are 3 spots from which you can throw the smoke. First one from the pillar, aim at the lower part of the sky. It doesn't land too deep or convex, so definitely add it to your arsenal. Second one's thrown from this corner, aim at this hole. It lands pretty deep, but the main downside is you gotta exit tunnel where you might get spotted. And the last one thrown from this lock on the box. It's the easiest but also the worst due to its convexity. Now let's talk flashes. We're used to throwing them over the top, both with jump throw and by hand. There's nothing wrong with those, but their downside is they don't blind for long. So let me show you 2 dope flashes right now. First one thrown from this box at this spot. The beauty of it is it doesn't blind your teammates going along the right wall. Second flash is thrown above this window, also doesn't blind allies, and all enemies in the plant area end up white. You also gotta know 2 simple mollies for B. First one's for when they smoke you out. Aim here and toss from a few steps away. It will roast this whole area. Second molly is thrown from this corner. It's meant to clear out 2 positions up close. It's just basic stuff. Now let's head back to long. Besides flashes for taking control, you also need to know some for retakes. These are a few cool ones. First one thrown from this curb. Aim at the wheel and do a control plus jump throw. It's instant for those watching the box. These are a simple version too. Get to the car, aim at the top of the door and simply left click. It blinds just the same. You can also flash yourself in the box. Two of them are thrown from this corner. For the first flash, aim at this spot and throw with a step and a jump. It looks like this from the city side. Second flash is thrown around this corner. It also blinds those watching the exit from box. Their only downside is enemies might hear them bouncing off the wall. Once you've secured long, you gotta smoke city regardless. Before you could just toss it on the go, aiming around this wall, but now there's a simple lineup to smoke all of city with one nade. Stand by this barrel, aim at the shadow from the lamp and toss it with a few steps and a jump. It lands perfectly. There's another one thrown from pit. For this, aim at this spot, hold shift and throw with a few steps. It's a bit convex, but it's not too critical. And almost forgot, you gotta get on the barrel, aim at the middle of the antennas, raise your crosshair a bit above the wire and left click. From long, you can also throw deep smokes into city. One of them also thrown from the barrel, but now you gotta aim not above the antennas, but above the window and just left click. The second smoke is an old lineup. Get to this wall, aim between these two protrusions. These smokes are worth throwing when you're executing a split to A. I prefer the second smoke because it leaves no gaps. Molotov for car is thrown from the barrel as before, but with one nuance. Now you gotta take one tiny step, or else it won't spread over the whole car. Let's head back to mid. If you're holding Xbox, you got some nades in your arsenal. Let's start with the basics, namely smokes for city. The old timers know this one well. You just slide into the corner, aim at this spot and chuck it with a left click. Standard stuff, but watch out for that big gap on top. It can work for you or against you. From the same spot, you can practically line up a Molotov for the doors. That will smoke out any nearby enemies. Plus, I suggest you follow up with a few shots to the doors, and if you wanna smoke city without holes, you gotta squat in that same corner, aim at this spot, nudge your aim a bit to the right, and jump throw. Only downside is the spot next to that box where enemies might pop out, but it's easy to control, so ain't no biggie. Now onto the last spot on the map, short. Here you got three main smokes. First one from this wall tosses a deep smoke into city. The second one lands on the box to make short passes easier, and the third, the old one way from this spot. You can throw up this smoke wall in less than a few seconds. And if you've got intel on an AVP camping long, you can chuck a smoke from the hip against this wall. That will completely blind the enemy sniper from short. Make sure to follow up those smoke walls with flashes. Your teammates won't be blinded, but all your enemy players at the plant will be white as ghosts. And lastly, on short, you gotta know about two Molotovs. First one, aim at the leaves of the palm tree and chuck it towards Goose. And the second, aim at the palm tree trunk and toss it into the plant spot. That wraps it up. I've shown you all the nades and tricks everyone should know. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And if you're digging at these types of videos, drop a comment suggesting which map I should cover next. This is CSKID. Catch you in the next video. Peace out!